The waves of Bravo's universe just got wilder. Captain Jason Chambers may have opened the floodgates with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but now Captain Sandy Yawn is ready to take command of Bravo's next great crossover storm. And trust me, she's not here to play nice. It's not just another charter, it's a clash of reality royalty. Salt Lake might have brought snowflakes, but New York is about to bring the thunder. Before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe, because this voyage is about to expose secrets even the ocean can't hide. Rumors have been swirling ever since Captain Sandy's latest interview with Decider. There, she admitted something most captains would never say out loud: envy. "I was jealous," she confessed, after seeing Captain Jason lead the Housewives crossover first. But Sandy's jealousy wasn't the petty kind. It was the spark of a woman who knows she can outshine any man at the helm. "He's a great captain," she said. "His priority is safety." Still, behind those professional compliments, fans could feel the competitive energy brewing. Captain Sandy doesn't just want to steer a ship. She wants to steer the drama. And when asked which Housewives franchise she'd want aboard next, she didn't hesitate for even a second. "The Real Housewives of New York," she said, with a grin that hinted she already had the guest list planned in her head. Her reason? "At my first BravoCon, I was surrounded by the New York Housewives, and I just think that would be amazing." Amazing might be an understatement. We're talking about the franchise that invented chaos on water. Remember Cartagena? That infamous boat ride that nearly sent the OGs overboard in every way possible? That wasn't just a bad trip, it was the stuff of Bravo legend. Now imagine that energy colliding with Captain Sandy's no-nonsense leadership. The woman who's fired deckhands mid-charter and survived mutinies from her own crew is about to face the sharpest tongues in reality TV. Ramona's entitlement, Sanja's unpredictability, Luann's ego, Dorinda's martini-fueled meltdowns, all trapped on one yacht. And somewhere between the champagne toasts and stormy seas, someone's going to snap. The idea of this crossover isn't just exciting. It's inevitable. Bravo fans have been begging for it, the network has been teasing it, and even the Housewives themselves can't stop dropping hints. Sources close to production have whispered that Andy Cohen has been toying with the concept ever since the Below Deck Down Under and RHOSLC crossover made waves online. Ratings spiked, memes exploded, and suddenly the idea of merging two of Bravo's biggest universes didn't seem like a risk. It seemed like gold. But there's something about Captain Sandy that sets her apart from Jason. She's strict, sharp, and sometimes polarizing. She runs her boats like a command center. Discipline first, drama later. The Housewives, on the other hand, thrive on emotional combustion. They drink too much, talk too loud, and turn every dinner into a battlefield. It's oil and water, or maybe tequila and diesel fuel. Fans are already imagining the explosive moments. Ramona trying to order the crew around, Luann insisting on a cabaret performance mid-charter, and Sonja sneaking down to flirt with the bosun. Captain Sandy's patience might not survive the first sunset. But here's where it gets even juicier. This crossover might be more than hypothetical. Insiders claim that Bravo has been quietly scouting filming locations in the Mediterranean for a special crossover charter event. The plan? To feature iconic OGs from the Real Housewives of New York on a luxury yacht captained by Sandy herself. Think Below Deck Mediterranean, Housewives Overboard. Each episode would pair crew tension with Housewives-level chaos, blurring the line between service and survival. And you know Bravo would milk it. Imagine the tagline: "When egos sail high and patience runs low, who will sink first?" It writes itself. Fans are already debating who should join the cast. Should Bethany return to reclaim her queen bee throne? Or should Bravo go full nostalgia with Ramona, Sonja, and Luann? There's even talk of Dorinda making her comeback, because if anyone can match Sandy's authority, it's the woman who once told an entire table to clip. Captain Sandy's connection to the RHONY women also runs deeper than most realize. Off-camera, she's built friendships with several Bravo celebrities at BravoCon events and charity galas. She's been spotted chatting with Luann de Lesseps backstage, even joking about co-hosting a yacht-themed cabaret night. It might have been a throwaway comment then, but now it feels like foreshadowing. Because if Sandy has her way, that cabaret won't be on land. It'll be mid-sea, with choppy waters and a camera crew capturing every minute. And let's not forget, This crossover isn't just about entertainment. It's about redemption. The OG RHONY women have been drifting since the reboot sidelined them. Their legacy deserves a grand return, and what better stage than the open sea? Bravo knows nostalgia sells, and pairing it with Sandy's precision would create a perfect storm of old-school glamour and new-school chaos. As Bravo insiders tease the potential project, one question looms. Can Captain Sandy control the Housewives, or will the Housewives sink her ship first? Every fan knows that on Below Deck, respect for the captain is law. But the Housewives don't follow rules, they rewrite them. It's a collision course, and Bravo might just be bold enough to chart it. And yet, somewhere in all this buzz, Captain Jason's name still comes up. Sandy may have praised him publicly, but privately? Sources claim she feels the network favors him for being the fan-favorite male captain. That kind of favoritism doesn't sit well with a woman who's fought her way through a male-dominated industry. So, if Sandy does get her own crossover, expect her to make it personal. A statement voyage that proves she can handle double the chaos and come out on top. The sea's calm now, but the undercurrent is building. With Bravo's producers hinting at a massive summer announcement and Captain Sandy already teasing her dream cast, fans are bracing for the next Bravo tidal wave. Will this be the moment RHONY makes its grand return? Will Sandy finally get the spotlight she's been craving? Or will Bravo play it safe and anchor this fantasy before it sails too far? One thing's certain. If the cameras start rolling and those OG housewives step aboard, it won't be smooth sailing. It'll be champagne-fueled chaos, confessions on deck, and maybe even a few overboard moments, literally or emotionally. Because when you put Bravo's most unstoppable captain in charge of the most unstoppable women, there's no map for where that journey leads. The yacht gleamed under the Mediterranean sun, polished to perfection, as if it knew it was about to host something historic. The crew lined up in crisp uniforms, tension thick enough to slice with a butter knife. Captain Sandy stood at the helm, sunglasses reflecting the horizon, calm, focused, and ready. But even she knew that peace never lasts long when housewives are involved. The dock buzzed with flashes, heels clicking, and unmistakable laughter. They'd arrived. First aboard, as always, was Ramona Singer, waving her hands like she owned the ocean. "Oh my God, this yacht is tiny," she declared, ignoring the shocked faces of the crew. "Where's the main deck cabana? Don't they have an espresso bar?" Within seconds, she was rearranging cushions and giving orders to the stews like she was chartering a private island, not a Bravo crossover. Behind her, Sonja Morgan stumbled up the gangway with a mimosa in hand. "Ramona, relax. It's fabulous. Look at this view. Reminds me of the south of France. Or was it Saint-Tropez? Anyway, I hooked up with a duke there once." The crew exchanged glances, already realizing they were in for a long charter. Luann de Lesseps followed next, poised and dramatic. "Bonjour, Captain," she greeted, slipping into her best accent. "I hope you're ready for a little cabaret at sea." Captain Sandy smiled politely. "Only if it doesn't violate maritime safety, Countess." The tension in that single exchange could have powered the engines. And finally, Dorinda Medley strutted aboard, clutching a bottle of her own homemade martinis. "I made it nice," she announced proudly. "And I expect this trip to stay nice. No drama, okay?" Everyone knew what that meant. The drama had just begun. The crew barely had time to breathe before the chaos started. Within an hour, Sonja was in the galley trying to help the chef season the vibe. Luann was setting up a makeshift stage near the jacuzzi, and Ramona was demanding to see the wine list by region, not alphabetically. Dorinda, meanwhile, had taken over the bar, declaring herself chief mixologist of the Mediterranean. Captain Sandy tried to maintain order. "Ladies, safety briefing on the main deck," she announced over the intercom. But the housewives didn't budge. "Sandy, darling, we've been on boats before," Luann called back, sipping her rosé. "We're professionals at sea." The captain's jaw tightened. "Not my sea," she replied quietly. By sunset, the crew had lost track of how many glasses had shattered and how many toasts had been made. Cameras caught every glittering second. Ramona flirting with the first mate, Sonja slipping into the tender wearing a sequined cover-up, Dorinda insisting the chef was under-seasoning the risotto, and Luann performing a spontaneous version of Money Can't Buy You class to a confused deck crew. But the real storm hit at dinner. As the yacht anchored near Capri, The housewives gathered for an elegant dinner under the stars. Captain Sandy joined them briefly, hoping to keep the peace. It started out civil. Laughter, clinking glasses, compliments about the meal. Then Dorinda mentioned the word reboot. The air froze. "So, are we just pretending that new RHONY doesn't exist?" she asked, eyebrow arched. Ramona shot back instantly. "Please, those girls couldn't survive one dinner with us." Luann added, "Darling, they need us. We built the brand." Sanja nodded. "Exactly, we're the legacy." Captain Sandy tried to steer the conversation away. "Ladies, let's just enjoy the view." But it was too late. Dorinda slammed her glass down. "Enjoy the view? You can't ignore the truth. Bravo replaced us." The table exploded. Ramona stood, pointing across the deck. "Speak for yourself, Dorinda. Some of us were invited to return." Sanja giggled nervously. "Can we not fight on a moving boat? I bruise easily." The shouting reached the bridge. Crew members froze, listening as the housewives' voices echoed across the sea. Captain Sandy finally stood up, walked down to the deck, and raised her voice for the first time all night. "Enough," she shouted. "This is my boat, my rules, and nobody, not even housewives, disrespects my crew or my vessel." The silence that followed was deafening. Cameras caught Ramona blinking, speechless. Dorinda took a slow sip of her drink. Luann straightened her shoulders. And then Sanja broke the tension with a grin. "You know what, Captain? I like you. You've got backbone." The table erupted into laughter, and just like that, the storm passed. For now. Later that night, under the soft hum of the yacht's lights, Captain Sandy watched the housewives dancing barefoot on deck, glasses in hand, arguing about who had the best Bravo legacy. She couldn't help but smile. They were chaos incarnate, loud, emotional, unpredictable, but they were also magnetic. And somewhere between the waves and the wine, Sandy realized she understood them. They weren't that different. They'd both fought to be seen in a world that tried to underestimate them. As dawn approached, the yacht cut across the glistening blue, leaving behind a wake of laughter, broken glasses, and unforgettable moments. The housewives had survived the sea, and somehow, so had Captain Sandy. She leaned against the rail, wind in her hair, and whispered to herself, "Maybe I could handle another season of this madness." Back in Bravo HQ, producers were already reviewing the footage. Every frame was gold: laughter, tears, power struggles, and redemption. The network execs looked at each other and grinned. "This isn't a crossover," one said. "It's a franchise." When the first teaser finally dropped months later, the internet erupted. Below deck, housewives overboard, when egos set sail. The trailer showed Ramona screaming about towels, Dorinda making it nice with a side of chaos, Luann belting a cabaret number on the bow, and Captain Sandy shouting orders as waves crashed over the deck. The tagline, "You've seen them on land, now watch them survive the sea." Fans flooded social media. "Is this real? Ramona versus Sandy? I'm living for it. Please tell me Sanja falls overboard again." Bravo had done it again, blending two worlds, two storms into one perfect hurricane of reality television. And as the premiere date approached, one thing was certain. The housewives may have conquered Manhattan, but the ocean belonged to Captain Sandy. The sea doesn't care about fame or fortune. It tests you, breaks you, and makes you earn respect. And when the sun set on that wild voyage, Bravo fans knew they'd witnessed something iconic. The moment where two legendary worlds collided, and reality TV was reborn on the waves. So buckle up, Bravo lovers, because the tides have turned. The crossover era isn't coming. It's already here.